Today I'm joined with Laurie Kiser from Ocena Point Marine Lending Services, part of Bank Newport. And today's discussion will be around financing and boat loans. Thank you, Laurie. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
So busy time in the industry. It seems like we're doing deals left and right. How are things with you?
They've been great. They've been crazy. It started busy in the spring and then it remained steady through summer, and we're still experiencing this steadiness going into the fall. It's been great in financing. It has been busy, but it's been really good. And I think the part that I like most about it is this COVID situation has allowed people, couples, families to sort of discover what boating is. Maybe they never would have bought a boat before, but this situation that we're in, they decided to do that as a fun, safe thing to do with their family. And now we've got so many more people really discovering what that boating life is and how great it is.
Yeah, I've been on the water all summer long, and we've just seen a lot of new boaters, young families. It's a great way to social distancing, keep as a family, and enjoy the outside lifestyle. Since we're talking about financing, everyone's biggest question are, what about rates? Where are they? Everyone talks about zero or low interest rates. Where are we with boat loans?
So with boat loans, recreational lending, a little bit different than your home mortgage rates or even your car loans. But over this last year or so, rates have remained low. Even during the most uncertain times, during this COVID situation, rates remained very low. So currently we're looking at, mid fours, like 4.25, 4.49, maybe even a 3.99% rate. So these are fantastic rates, and they've remained low. And economically speaking, for the future, I think we're looking at what they say we're looking at for 2021 is a nice rebound, even going into 2022. So we think rates are going to stay low and programs are going to remain favorable for buyers for the near future.
Which is great. It just gives more opportunities for people to get a loan to get on the water. Tell me a little bit about the terms for a boat loan. It's different than a mortgage or a car loan. What are the typical terms, lengths of boats loans?
So 20-year terms are easily available, and they're available on finance amounts that are $50,000 and above. When you're below $50,000, then you're going to be looking at a 15-year term or possibly even a 10 or 12-year term. But as long as you're above $50,000, 20-year terms are available, and that pretty much is the maximum term.
And what are banks looking for today in a pre-approval, pre-qualified buyer? I know the boat market is super hot, and sometimes we've seen the last 2 or 3 months, we get a listing and it's sold within 7-10 days, sometimes maybe even up to 2 weeks to get a contract on it. Mm-hmm. What are the banks looking for in a typical person's application?
So underwriting guidelines really have not changed drastically, over the last few months. They're generally the same. There are a couple of banks that might be asking for a little bit more income verification than they did before. Your no-doc loans are a little bit harder to come by. But basically, banks are looking at credit score and credit history. They're going to be looking at something called your debt to income ratio. So that's your current monthly debt load compared to your monthly income, your gross monthly income, not your net. And they typically want to see that at 40% or under, including the new boat payment. When we're talking about higher dollar amounts, so above 150,000, 200,000, banks will start to look at overall net worth, maybe your liquid asset base, things of that nature.
And typically, how much do you put down in a boat loan?
Good question. So if you're under 100,000 on the purchase price, most banks are okay with like a 10% down program. once you get above 100, 150,000, banks are really going to start requiring that full 20% down payment.
And what can a typical buyer do to make sure he or she is pre-approved, or what are the steps that they can do to kind of get a pre-approval? So when they're ready to buy, it's not they can put down an offer and then have to wait for financing and then possibly get, rejected or have to get deferred for a while.
Yeah, so we have always been of the mindset that pre-approvals are definitely the way to go. They really offer more advantages to the buyer if they get pre-approved. So the number one advantage is that buyer knows that they're shopping in the right price range. So there's no bigger disappointment than finding that dream boat and then applying for your financing and finding out maybe there's a problem in your credit you didn't know about, or that boat is just outside your reach, budget wise. So, pre-approvals help take the sort of the scariness or the guesswork out of that boat shopping experience. The second advantage is, something you already mentioned, your offer. You find that dream boat and you decide to make an offer on it. And if you're pre-approved, that is a stronger offer. So you're able to tell that seller, hey, our financing is already set, we're good to go. And that gives more confidence to the seller. The third advantage of a pre-approval is, there are times that, we find something out in a credit report or there's a little hurdle that we need to get over. And if we can find out what that is during the pre-approval, let's use an example here. If you pull a credit report and you find in the credit report there's like this pesky little $30 medical collection account that mysteriously appeared out of nowhere, we can remedy that immediately. So we can take care of that, get it taken care of, and instead of that being a decline, we are now fixing that and turning it into an approval. So if the customer had waited until after they had surveyed the boat and they were ready to close, that could have at best delayed closing, and at worst it could have maybe not had the boat sale happen at all. So all advantages for getting a pre-approval while you're boat shopping, and there really are no disadvantages to it. So there's no cost, there's no fee, there's no obligation to take the loan. We're just sort of taking the scariness out of it and making that shopping experience even better, much easier.
That's great, Laurie. Thanks for explaining all that. How could people find more information? Can they go to your website, contact you directly? How do they get that pre-approval process started?
Yeah, either one. So they can go to our website. There's applications on the website that they can fill out, or if they're more comfortable, just pick up the phone and give me a call, give one of our other sales reps a call. We'd be happy to talk them through it, discuss what the process is, how long it takes, what paperwork the bank may or may not need to see. We can email them an application. We have a real easy one. You can click in it, type in it, fill it out, send it back. We try to make it as simple as possible.
Yeah, it sounds very simple. So, if you're looking for a boat, maybe go ahead and give Laurie a call and try to get a pre-approval. As she said, it makes the shopping experience more enjoyable because you don't have to worry about, am I going to get a loan? What are the terms? What's the interest rates? What are my payments looking like? So you can kind of figure all that out prior to going down that, shopping of different types of boats and different types of ranges. Now, Laurie, this year has been a crazy year, but one of the things you guys have put together for our MJM buyers is a construction loan program. So could you elaborate on what the program is? How does it work, and what's it for?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So we're very excited about this product. It's a construction loan program. So, and nothing like this has ever been offered in the industry before. So we're very proud of it, and we're very excited to be able to offer it specifically to the MJM customer base. So typically the way it worked before, you go to build your beautiful new MJM, and that customer, that buyer is making their initial down payment requirement to start the build process. And then that buyer is required to make all the subsequent further draws that are due while the boat is being built. So there are phases that take place, and at certain phases, more down payment money or build money is due at that point. So the way the construction loan program works is that buyer still makes their initial down payment requirement, but then the construction loan kicks in, and that loan pays those draws, those further payments that are needed to complete the build of the boat. So typically, before, the buyer was using their own funds to make those draw payments, and they were coming either from a home equity line of credit, or maybe they were liquidating some of their investment accounts. So with this program, they don't need to do that. So it's a huge advantage for those buyers and those customers. For instance, take a current interest rate today of 4.24. If the buyer were to liquidate some of their investment accounts to sort of make those build payments, if they had left that money in their account, they could be making potentially double what that interest rate is. So it really is a huge advantage to those MJM buyers out there to utilize the construction loan.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a challenge in the past with our MJM buyers of how do they make
Are we here?
Call progress payments.
I think we froze a little bit.
Uh-oh.
I'll continue talking maybe until Jennifer comes back. But I did want to also mention that the buyer does, Jennifer, are you back?
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Back, Jennifer?
Oh.
Anyway, the buyer does have the option.
Hello?
Are we back?
Yep, I'm back.
Okay.
Can we see you?
Yeah, okay. I don't know where, was I cut off?
I think I cut you off. I was talking about the MJM purchase programs because it was a real challenge in the past for some of our buyers to either liquidate funds or pull things out of a trust and to make those progress payments all in the end when the boat was delivered and we got all the builder certificates and the required documentation, they would just turn it into a loan then. So this is a great advantage of starting the loan process earlier so they don't have to go through financial hurdles to actually purchase their dream boat.
Exactly, right. They're not going into trust accounts. They're not liquidating investments. They're not having to take out a home equity line of credit. They're not using their own funds for that build process. Now, they do have the option, if they chose, at the end of the build process, when that boat is complete, they can choose to put that construction loan, to convert it into a standard marine fixed rate loan.
Right.
So again, they don't have to, but they have the choice at that time.
So at the end of the construction, they can either pay it off or they can flip it into one of your loans.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been a relatively simple process. We've got 2 in place right now, and they've been working great.
Yeah, it's a great program because I know that in the past we've had people that really want to purchase an MJM, but just couldn't figure out how to make those payments until they can get a loan. So this is amazing. It's a great program, and we hope to use it more in the future with more of our MJM buyers. So I know we're missing out on the boat shows this year because it's a crazy year and we can't have them. And this is great because this is all the information we can gather at what people would gather at the boat shows. They'd stop by your booth. They talk to you about financing, loans, how do we get approval, the new programs you have out. But here's a personal question. What's your favorite part of the boat shows? What do you miss most about not having a boat show this year?
It is kind of killing me not to have boat shows this year. It's like a huge hole in my life. What am I going to miss the most? Well, the Pussers painkillers, of course. But no, seriously, honestly, it is that face-to-face interaction with our customer base and all the people that come to the boat show. It is that social interaction. Even before COVID, so much of our day-to-day work life was internet-based or phone-based, and it was really the boat shows that we got to talk with the customers from all over. There's like a buzz there. There's an excitement there.
Yep.
With
Yeah.
crowded docks, and you're talking to people from all over the world that are either already enjoying the boating life or are just learning about how great the boating life is, and they want to be a part of it. And to feel that excitement and that buzz, and to be talking to these people from all over that are sort of on the verge of having their dream come true, that's the biggest part that I'm going to be missing is that face-to-face and that feeling of excitement. When you're talking to a couple and they've got the boats all listed out that they want to look at that day, and can they make this dream come true? So that's the part I'll miss the most.
Yeah, the boat shows are super exciting. They're exhausting for us who work it day to day for, on years, weekend, back-to-back weekends. But it is that interaction with the people, and everyone's excited about boating and excited about buying their dream boat or yacht. So I'll miss that too, along with the painkillers. Oh, I think I lost Laurie. So I guess that is the end of our finance update. I want to thank Laurie for joining us, and tune in next time. We will be talking to Jane Taman for another finance update tomorrow. Oh,
all right. I'm back.
Laurie.
Okay.
I was just saying I was going to wrap it up. Laurie, thanks for joining us. Appreciate your information, all your great input, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the water.
Thanks so much for having me. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you out there on the water as well. Take care, everybody.
Bye. Take care.